a debt that you owe to Allah, a debt that you owe to humanity, and a debt that you owe to yourself. These are the things that the 10 points of the bucket list revolve around. A debt that you owe to Allah, and a debt that you owe to humanity, and a debt that you owe to yourself. These debts need to be paid up in full before death, to the best of your ability. One of them is to seek out a true friend of God. And wallahi, if you know, I promise you, if you sort out a true friend of God, you'll be shocked by the type of people that they are. They may not fit your profile, you know that. I'm serious. First thing is that they'll be so disarming, like the guy just may be a typical shopkeeper. Right? He won't be dressed in fancy garbs. The Prophet of Allah gave this description. He said, everything about him is different. The Prophet in Sahih Muslim, he said, رُبَّ أَشْعَثَ أَغْبَرَ مَدْفُوعٌ بِالْأَبْوَابِ لَوْ أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ لَأَبَرَّ. He said, some of these people may be dust-laden. Their hair may be disheveled. Right? And if they come to your door to ask you for something, hey, what do they say? Hamba. Not gena, hamba. Right? No, they say gena in town. You'll say hamba in town. Yeah. Their clothes may be dust laden, their hair may be disheveled. They don't fit the general profile. Right? What would happen to you if you read the hikayat of the friends of Allah like Sheikh Baba Fariduddin Mas'ud Shakarganj rahmatullahi ta'ala, Baba Farid they call him. Right? If you read his book, the recording of his it's called Ahmed? Huh? No, something Qulub. God. Okay, I can't remember the name of the book right now, right? But it's all of his things. Every second story or every second hikayah inside there where he's talking, they're recording exactly as he's talking. Like if I'm talking right now, you guys are recording whatever I'm saying, they should sit there and record whatever he said. Every hikayah starts off with him crying, or not in between, like he said something there and he starts to weep. He weeps so much that his weeping causes him to fall unconscious. He falls unconscious. And sometimes he would go into a state of spiritual ecstasy, weeping, that for 6-7 hours. Out for the count. He'll get up again, he'll repeat the same thing after 2-3 hours. He got up he was unconscious for 2 hours. He got up out of the state after 2 hours, he gets up again, he repeats the same thing again. What would you say about someone like that? What would you say about someone like that? Hey, he's cuckoo, man. Astaghfirullah. Would you be willing to sit there and wait and have the patience to sit there and learn? No. Because I promise you, you want to learn through communication. Right? I must sit here and I must give bayan. You all shut up and listen. When the spiritual master gives bayan, he keeps silent. And you must listen. You heard that? You must keep silent and listen. A man said, I sat in the company of Sultan al-Arifin, Bayezid al-Bustami rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, for 13 years. How many years? Not 13 minutes, not 13 hours, for 13 years. And for 13 years, the only thing Bayezid did was sit like this. I'll show you, if you can see it. Right? He would sit like this with his head down. And maybe once in an hour, he would, oh. "13 years. 13 years. But the silence of Bayezid and the electrical, the magnetism of being in his presence for 13 years spoke volumes. Spoke volumes. We are not even ready for teachers like that. And you know what the chances are? You say, like, I remember great Sheikh, Mawlana Sheikh Nazim Haqqani came down to Pretoria, right? And he was in Pretoria after leaving Johannesburg, Durban. He went to Pretoria. So one of these very good friends of mine, very wealthy people, they in the corporate sector, very wealthy people. So he gave a talk and everything. So the guy said, Sheikh, like typical corporate mentality, like Sheikh, can we have like a course of about 3 or 4 days when you can teach us the sciences, like? So Maulana Sheikh took out his hat. He used to wear the turban, took it out there. He said, yeah, of course, no problem. He said, yes, really. How many days? Can we do a 3-day seminar or 4-day seminar? Where you open up the knowledge of the cosmic dimension, the spiritual knowledge and everything. He said 3 or 4 days. He said, no, it's even easier than that. He said, he took off his cap with his turban, he took it out there. He said, there, he put it onto the table. He said, yeah, there's it, yeah. Just put my cap on. Just put my cap on. The guy looked at me, just put my cap on. The guy said, no, Sheikh, no, put my cap on. So the guy said, no, put the cap on. The guy goes, okay, put the cap on. He said, well, did you become Maulana Sheikh? He says, no. He said, precisely. Putting on my hat won't make you who I am, right? And merely putting this hat on didn't make me who I am. You didn't get that? Putting on this hat won't make you who I am, and putting on this hat didn't make me who I am. It took me 30, 40, 50 years to become nobody in order to become who I am right now. He didn't say that. I'm telling you his life history. Yes, sir. We're all wasting our time. Wallahi, we're all wasting our time. I don't mean in a negative sense, but really, we're wasting our time. The real stuff, we're not ready for. The real stuff, we just want intellectual stimulation. Spiritual enlightenment, we don't want it. You know why? Spiritual enlightenment, don't let anyone dupe you. Zikr is a process. It's a methodology. It's a way, it's a tool to get to where you want to go. But it's not the means. It's a means to an end. It's not the end in itself. You can sit here and I can teach you how to make dhikr. La ilaha illallahu illallah illallah Allahu Allah. I'll show you 101 zikrs. Your ego will not be destroyed. Your nafs will still bug you. Shaitan won't leave you. Chances are shaitan will become even worse. Shaitan will even become worse. He'll attack you more. That's what he's going to do. Your nafs will attack you even more. You'll become even more arrogant. You'll become even more opinionated. You'll even have to have, you're like, oh wow, I'm really somewhere, I'm walking around with tasbih. I call it, what do I call it? I call it spiritual arrogance. Right? And it's spiritual superiority complex. And they make me laugh. I feel sorry for them sometimes. You see them there, they dress up in holy garb. Right? They'll keep a tasbih around there, like around their wrists or something, or they'll keep it on the finger, that's in the latest trade inside. And then they'll pepper a few lines, Arabic, into it there, and Sheikh Hamza Yusuf said this, the great Sheikh said, I've been with him at this. Oh, anyway, Allah bless them anyway. Allah remove the veils from their sides. Okay, what does it say? See, nonsense irritates me. Huh? No. But before that, I was saying something. Yeah. We don't want spiritual knowledge. You know what it requires? How does your ego get killed? How is your ego destroyed? Have you ever felt the indignity of being embarrassed in public by someone watering you down in front of people you know? Have you ever felt that indignity? Felt so small? Have you ever felt crushed like that? You know when your ego caught a hiding. You know your ego caught a hiding. You know your ego caught a hiding. Making zikr doesn't necessarily destroy your ego. Sorry. To become nobody. Wow. To kill that nafs inside you. No. You think it will be solved by zikr. If that was the case, half our people would be buzurgs by now. Really. It requires you to fight your nafs. Get rid of your appetites. Don't eat. Don't sleep. Spend the night in ibadat. Your nafs is screaming, I'm hungry. Starve. Fight it. That's one of the things. But all of that gets destroyed when you're in love. Have you noticed when your young ladies, they may know about it. The old people forgot about it now. Right? You know, when you're in love, then you forget to eat. You're like in your own buzz, like your own, right? You But that's an outcome, it's a result, it's not the goal. Did you understand that? I'm trying to put these points across to you because this is very, very important. We are duped by what spirituality is. We want instant illumination, you know, like an instant coffee, right? You know, what things on demand, right? We want instant spirituality. Hazrat, what must you do? Allah, 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 how many times? This one here. Make zikr so many times. Wake up, make muraqabah so many times. Right. What next? Right. 40 days, Jibreel will come and see you. That's what we want. We want an outcomes-based. We want an outcomes-based education. And this is our life. Half of the spiritual path is undergoing difficulty. How are you going to learn patience? If I give you a wazifa, sir, Ya Saburu, right? Or Ya Ghafuru, or Ya Wadudu, or Ya Allah, or Ya Latifu. What? Will that make you compassionate? Ji? Will that make you compassionate? Will Ya Saburu make you patient? Ya Saburu doesn't make you patient. Ya Saburu unlocks the ability in you to become patient, like a medication, you know, which resolves the symptoms in your body. But you have to be tried in difficult situations where your patience is tested in order for you to learn patience. You have to be tried in difficult situations where people will be rude with you for you to learn how to become civil. You have to be tried in difficult positions where people will test your honesty. They leave $1 million with you. I'm trusting you with it. And if you have an inclination towards being untrustworthy, what's your first inclination? Vanish with it. Unless you don't go through these difficulties and these tasks and these trials and tribulations and obstacles in life, if you think spirituality is about sitting on a musalla, forget about it. If that was the case, then why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put Ayyub alayhi salatu wasalam into such difficulty? The patience of Ayyub with illness. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala test Ibrahim alayhi salam by saying, you know what, go and slaughter your son? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala test Ibrahim alayhi salam by saying, take your wife and your son and leave them in one desolate place? How is, the point is, the lesson is to learn, trust in me, I'll protect them. Sacrifice for me. That's what I'm asking of you. Right? Who do you love more? Do you love your son more or do you love your Lord more? I'll put you through the test. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسَ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. That people are under the impression that they are not going to be tested. They only must say Amanna and home lives and they won't be tested. Wallah, suluk, the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is riddled with these types of life's challenges. And each one requires for you to develop your spiritual mettle by honing your character. Character development is half the battle. The other one is spiritual development. The Prophet of Allah stated that the person closest to me, إِنَّ مِنْ أَحَبِّكُمْ وَأَقْرَبَكُمْ مِنِّي مَجْلِسًا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَحَسِنَكُمْ أَخْلَاقًا أَوْ كَمَا قَالَ عِيسَى السَّلَامُ. When the person who will be physically closest to me and the most beloved to me on the day of Qiyamah will be the one whose character was the best. Now, if you are out there seeking spirituality by learning about all these, these cosmic things that I'm talking about, nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I can leave from this. I don't know. Right? And if you've never ever learned honesty, if you never ever learned integrity, if you didn't practically learn patience, if you were not taught patience, if you were not taught how to control your tongue, if you were not taught how to control your heart, if you were not taught how to control your passions, if you were not taught how to control your anger and subdue it, if you were not taught how to control your tongue and your hearing and riba and from riba and all of those things there, you haven't learned half of the spiritual part. If your spiritual teacher only taught you, make zikr like this, and wake up for Salatul Tahajjud, and do this and do that there, and left you at that, and is not involved actively, okay, is not in some of you may know about the example. You know the guy goes there to learn karate from Mr. Miyagi. Right? What Mr. Miyagi does? Mr. Miyagi tells him, paint the fence. So Allah, whole day, what the poor student thinks they're eating, I'm painting the fence for Hazrat man. He got a free painter for himself. He finished up that day, poor fellow painted the whole fence. Right? No karate. Next day he comes, whole lot of cars there, wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. After the third, fourth day, he says, what kind of teaching is this, man? So then he says, you learn nothing. He said, I come now. And Mr. Miyagi does this one. He said, paint up, paint down. Then the teacher starts to do the martial arts trick, and the guy does up, and he blocks him this way. Does it down, brings it down, brings it down. Cuts it there. He said, wax on, the guy goes, wax on. The guy comes to hit him, he waxes on, wax off. It was a mundane activity, but the methodology may have been suspect, but the outcome, for what did he do? What did he do? For what is the essential lesson? The essential lesson for me from the Karate Kid was what? The training. You don't know the path. The way they teach you is symbolic instruction. Right? And the biggest thing is that the biggest lesson from there was, for 2 days his ego got broken. Before you learn knowledge of karate, you need to learn knowledge of self. And he showed where his shortcomings were. I came here to learn karate. I'm teaching you. But your method, what you want to learn, and how you want to learn it on your terms is not what is important. How I teach you and the method that I teach you is more important than what you want to know and how you want to know it. And the problem in this day and age is that everyone wants to learn, but they will tell you the well-defined from, look here, I'd like to learn, and I like to learn like this. How I'd like to learn. You know, like you go to a doctor, I have the flu. Let me tell you, doctor, flu, don't give me an antibiotic for it, okay? Right? Because it's a virus. And number two, if you give me a Panadol, tell me the difference between paracetamol and aspirin. Tell me the side effects of each one. Right? Tell me why you are checking up my chest here when I'm telling you I don't have any phlegm inside my chest. Right? I want you to treat me like this. I don't want you to give me an injection. I don't want you to give me pain tablets. What will the doctor do, right? He takes out from there. Or better still, you undertake a journey. Right? You go on to Mango. Right? You think you're an armed army, so you go on Mango. Right? So you go on to Mango. You go there, see, I need to speak to the captain, please. You fly me to Joburg. Now, give me the route, please. G, give me the route. And what altitude are you flying? I don't like 24,000 feet here. Make it 30,000 feet. Right? And what speed are you going to be flying? G. Now, why are you taking the turn? Oh, halfway through the thing. Why are you taking the turn? What did the captain tell you? Shut up. I'm the captain. Keep your mouth shut. Sit there. Enjoy the flight. Enjoy the flight. Right? And that's our problem. Lack of patience. Okay, before we go, Lamba Chora story, is the tea ready there? Okay, take this notes down and then we get onto this thing here. Right? Knowledge. And this is the knowledge which is taught in Surah Al Kahf. Okay, then we'll discuss this whole discussion after that, inshallah ta'ala. Huh? I won't go fast, don't worry. I know the old people, they can't write anymore. Hands up.